Inside Spurs podcast. I'm Steve Worrell, and today I'm joined by Andy. How are we doing, Andy?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, Steve. Well, very good, in fact. Yeah, we had a good match to watch yesterday, so really happy that that all went well.
Were you at my game?
Yeah, that's right. I came to
You was
watch
at
that. Yeah, just proper football, mate. You know, none of this bad tactics and can't pass the ball stuff.
I know there was a lot of can't pass the ball stuff, but it was proper football.
Yeah, good.
Proper match. As you can tell, obviously, I had my own football to go to, so I didn't see any of the football.
Lucky git.
Yesterday.
Oh.
So I'm in a happier place than most, fortunately.
Yeah.
So, well, I say that we didn't get the result that we wanted, so I'm not in that much of a happy place, to be honest. But there you go. Anyway, moving on. We are joined by Chris. Now, Chris, I can't pronounce your surname, so can you pronounce your surname?
Very easy. It's Paouros. Chris Paouros.
Okay, so we're joined by Chris Paouros from Proud Lily Whites and many other organisations, which we are going to hopefully cover later when we do a little special on you, Chris, in our little Fans in Focus area. I didn't tell you about this, by the way, but we do a little Fans in Focus bit. So rather than getting you on specifically as Proud Lily Whites, then it was just going to be more about you as a Spurs fan, but also all the other stuff that you do. So how are you, Chris, anyway?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm pleased to sort of understand that what Andy was talking about there, because when he said he was great and it was because of football, I just thought he might have lost his mind.
Oh no, I have lost my mind. Yeah.
Clearly he hasn't, because he was watching another football match. Yeah, fine. Do you know what? I surprised myself a bit yesterday, to be honest, because I thought that I'd sort of, in the last few years, I thought that football couldn't affect my mood as much as it used to. And I was like, yeah, it's fine. And I realised that's because the football's been good. So, like, I don't mind if we lose, if it looks like we've got something to offer. And I genuinely felt like we didn't have
totally right
today.
Yeah.
And it made me really, really, like, everyone that saw my face after the game was like, what is wrong with you? Football made me miserable. And it hasn't done that for years. And honestly, it shocked me a little bit, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the first or the last time that's going to happen, sadly.
Yeah. I kind of wonder if I should still be involved in football, because I don't really. It does affect my mood, and then the whole family kind of have to duck for cover for the rest of certainly the rest of the day, maybe until we next play and get a positive result. I'm lucky in so much that I can go to training, and if I get a good training session with my team, then that kind of redresses the balance a little bit, and I feel a lot better. So, I hear where you're coming from. So, I mean, we're going to move on to that in a while. I mean, I've been trying to get you on the pod for absolutely ages, I think. And I think the last time we were going to get you on, you ended up sort of ducking out last minute. We got Simon on, and then ended up getting him as a regular contributor. So
yeah, which is great. So actually, was a really nice outcome from that. Simon's always got to say as well, so that's great.
Yeah. And he presented himself really well. He came across really well. And we thought, we'll have a bit more of that. So we did. So, like, obviously, we haven't spoken to you for ages, and like the season's just started. But what have you been up to pre-season wise? Have you lockdown and all that sort of malarkey? How's that been for you?
Well, it's been. I mean, it's been what it's been like for everybody, really. It's been sort of odd, but you kind of adjust. I think from a Proud Lily Whites perspective, it's been really interesting for us, because we've had to think about how we're going to sort of rework our offering, if you like, because a lot of the stuff that we do is around getting people to meet up around matches. So you've got like a core of people to meet pre-match. And also a lot of sort of campaigning work, but that often is sort of hand in hand with being at the football. So what's been really interesting is that because everything went online, is that we were able actually to engage with our members much more, because Tottenham being a global brand, for want of a better way of putting it, means that we've got members all over the country and all over the world.
Well, I will let you carry on, but I'm pretty sure that little. I think we might need to get that little soundbite and get that sent across to Levy, because I'm sure Daniel Levy would be so proud to hear that we are a global brand.
Well, we are. I mean, listen, now that we are able to do all this stuff online, you know, we had sort of this thing that we called Talking Tottenham on a Wednesday night. We did a quiz. We did sort of during the lockdown period. So before everything restarted, we did player and goal of the season so far. And it was brilliant because we engaged loads of members, I say, from all over the world, loads of Americans. You know, there's some calls where we have someone from Kentucky, someone from Brooklyn, someone from Ohio, someone from North America, I should say, Nova Scotia. You know, it was incredible. And so that was really great, was to be able to connect. And we wouldn't have done it if it wasn't for lockdown, because we would have just continued for it to be sort of analog, if you see what I mean, so face to face. Whereas this forced us to do this, and we're going to, you know, even when we do manage to finally get back to football, we're going to continue it because it's really important, and it's great to kind of get people together. So that's been really good from a Proud Lily Whites perspective, is like connecting with our members in that way, and just finding different ways to engage, really.
That's good. So I mean, you know, it's good that you've seen that as an opportunity and made the most of that opportunity. And obviously, you know. And
we have a Zoom call. We open a Zoom call 45 minutes before kick-off of each game, because of course we're not there. And people jump on and have a chat, and we do sort of polls and, you know, like guess the first scorer, guess the score, whatever. And the call stays open during the game, but people have to be on mute because obviously people's like streams or the TV they're watching are all different timings. I can't do that. I have to put it away and then watch the telly, and then I jump back in at half time because I can't watch football like that.
No.
So it's a bit of a bonkers time, really. I don't like getting used to the idea of watching football on TV. And I'm slightly worried that we're becoming a little bit more acclimatized to that. Not that we won't like jump at the chance to go back, of course, but you know.
Do you not feel that that's like something, not just with football, but within in society in general, that it feels like we're being kind of conditioned to accept a different way of life, and you know, and just the whole terminology around things that they're doing at the moment. I mean, about an hour or so before we started to record, I put out a tweet that, you know, that all of a sudden today has been we've just been blasted with rule of six. They just do these things about getting things into you know, into general circulation and as accepted as the norm, and that becomes our norm. And even things like the new normal, you know, phrases like that are just things that they kind of try and get us to accept and to latch onto, as if this is something that we should, you know, just adjust to and deal with. Where I feel that we should be, I know we have to deal with it, but we should certainly be worried about how easily we're being expected to adapt to these kind of changes.
But I just think some of them are just a bit kind of pointless, really. It's a bit like this hand, face, space. It's just, what is that all about? It just, you know, it's just
someone's obviously been paid to think of that, though. But it feels like, you know, they kind of look at the general public as if this is how we can deal with things. If we've got a nice little catchy slogan, that's how we'll we'll deal with it.
I think the thing is, I think you use the word conditioning, Steve, and I sort of see what you're saying, but also there's like, it's a public health emergency. You know, if I think about the number of, you know, I think about the people that I know personally that have been really ill, hospitalised.
Okay.
A couple have died, sadly, or have got long COVID, as they call it. It's like, it's really important. I think the difficulty I find, and I understand the 3-word things, because we know who's running it, right? It's the same guy that came up with Take Back Control, 3 words, hand, face, space, rule of 6. I mean, you know, it's the same guy. However, the thing I find most difficult is that there's a little bit of like one rule for us and then one rule for the, you know, for the ruling elite, for want of a better way of putting it. Because it's my parents' 50th wedding anniversary of the weekend, right?
Mm.
And it was only the 8 of us were going to get together, my sister and her family, and me and my partner with my parents. So 8 of us. We can't do that now. And I'm not keen to flout the rules because I think it's bad role modelling to my nephews. Yeah. However, if we decided to go on a grouse hunt together, I'm not even joking. I saw this today. I couldn't believe it. We could go on a grouse hunt. We could go hunting.
Oh my God.
That was the delay. There was a delay in getting the guidance up on the Gov UK website. Yeah. And by all accounts, it's because there was an attempt to sneak through this hunting thing because, and they had to kind of fudge a meeting because a lot of the cabinet apparently would have kicked off about it, quite understandably. So I think that's the issue that we're in. It's like, I recognise that we do have to make changes until we've either got, I hate to say it, herd immunity or some kind of a vaccine, because we can't operate in the same way because people are still getting sick.
No, I accept that, and I'm not disputing that, and I don't dispute the gravity of the whole situation. It's just as you say, it's these 3-word phrases and stuff like that I worry about. Anyway, we seem to have gone off a totally different tangent to what.
No, this is great. Steve, this is great. I don't want to talk about the game.
Andy,
I'd rather talk about social distancing if I can.
And well, there was apparently. I mean, as I said, I didn't really. I saw a bit of the second half yesterday. I didn't really pay much attention to the game, unfortunately. But it's hard. I always find it hard to get into the game and to really pick up the detail when I haven't actually watched the game from the start. So I listened to the game in the car on my way home from my own match, and you kind of get a perception of stuff. And actually, I think based on the Green, I can't remember his name, the guy that does BBC 5 Live. Based on his commentary, I think it was Alan Green. I think it was quite accurate in terms of, the first half. James Rodriguez seemed to, show us what we missed out on. I find it quite funny because I was one of the people that thought that he was washed up. To be honest, I thought, well, he hasn't been playing for Madrid, and then he can't be that good. What's going on? He must have lost his ability.
Yeah, and he just needs a new opportunity, though, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think he's a bit like Ozil. Give him loads of space, he'll do loads of damage. That's that's what those type of players do.
Well, yeah, but that, I mean, that's one of the comments that they were discussing in the commentary. Did we give him a lot of space, or is he a player of such ability that he managed to find himself in space, which therefore gives him the time?
I think in reality, in the first half, he had lots of composure, got hold of the ball a lot, sprayed it about whenever he could, but he wasn't really creating chances. They were just more, they just looked good. And I think with a new player in a side, that's what you're looking for them to do something.
Yeah.
But they didn't really have any chances going forward, except for the wonderful pass that Ben Davies passed over to Richarlison, and he nearly scored. But that was the first half, and the first half we should have probably had a couple of goals, to be fair, because both Doherty and Delhi should have scored.
I mean, who's this Doherty guy? Because I heard there was a Doherty plan for us. I don't know about Doherty.
Well,
yeah, Doherty was on the other side.
Well, there is Doherty. But the commentators insist on calling him Doherty. But it was very clear, as we know from, I think it's quite useful when we sign a new player. The player often does a little video saying this is how you pronounce my name, like Højbjerg is Højbjerg, and
exactly.
Doherty, not Doherty and Højbjerg, which is what we heard yesterday.
Well, yeah, but so how is it that we're seeing the videos and the commentators that will be using their name in anger the most and not aware of these videos, or don't take advantage of these videos? You
don't even know what happened during the women's game, right? During the women's game, on as a sub, and the commentator decided it was Alicia Salola and called her Salola for the final 20 minutes of the game when it was Chloe Peplow. Now, I know might be bad information, but you don't have to have done a ton of research to know to know what the number is or the player, apart from the fact that Chloe Peplow's white and Alicia Salola's black.
Maybe the lighting wasn't very good.
Well, see, maybe, I mean, I don't know if it's a male or female commentator, but they were obviously... So say again?
It was a man.
It was a man. So